Hey, what's up guys? Thetcglover here, coming a video today. Oh my god, I've been thinking about this one for a while. Wiretap came out in the brand new Dragons of Legend booster set, and I've been looking forward to this card for a while actually, ever since it was activated by Trudge in the first episode of 5Ds, which was back in 2008, I believe, in April. Yeah, so Wiretap is an interesting card. It's like very similar to Seven Tools the Bandit. Very similar in application, however very different in actual Furio, if we apply it in that sense. Wiretap, obviously I've got a German card here, but obviously I've got the definition of the card itself. So Wiretap, when a trap card is activated, negate the activation, and if you do, shuffle that card into the deck. Okay, and what does Seven Tools the Bandit do? I can't quite remember that one. Yeah, when the trap card is activated, pay 1,000 life points, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Right, so very similar in application, although obviously they have a major difference. But people are like, oh yeah, you can either play, either card, doesn't really matter. I mean, it's going to be a super rare in the set, so it's not really that hard to get hold of Wiretaps, so it's not really a big deal. However, actually, if you think about it in more Furio sense, the cards are very different. Seven Tools the Bandit, you are paying life points, and obviously we're going into a format now between Dragons of Legend and the Primal Origin, which is about 2 or 3 weeks of this weird format that we're going to be in. And during that time, Nationals for the UK is going to happen. It's going to be a few regionals in America, so you're going to have to consider it, that there's a possibility that Gear Gears might be playing Wiretap instead of Seven Tools the Bandit, just so that they can resolve their soul charge with an extra 1,000 life points in the bank, so that they can get some more monsters and probably create a more formidable field. But is Wiretap better in that just because the fact that you don't have to pay any life points? The answer really is no. I mean, it's not better or worse. I mean, it's different. It depends exactly what you're going to use that 1,000 life points for Seven Tools the Bandit wise. If you're not playing Soul Charge, you don't have to worry about it. Wiretap, what you're actually doing is you're putting the cards that you're negating back in the deck. And to be honest, you really want to be putting trap cards back in the deck. I mean, like, for instance, think of like Lightning Chidori. You're putting a monster back into the deck, right? And you know that that monster is not in the graveyard, so they can't Soul Charge, they can't call the Haunted, they have to research the card back into their hand, or to get it back onto the field again. So putting a monster back into the deck is very, very good, because it means that they have to draw it back, and it means that they're not going to be drawing into something else. Realistically, you can't compare it to something else that bounces like Chidori, because actually trap cards, they kind of go into the graveyard and they just sort of sit there and do anything. So, more or less, you just kind of want to negate it and put them in there, because what you're paying for in Seven Tools the Bandit, which is the big thing of this video, what you're paying for in Seven Tools the Bandit is information. I mean, if you negate the second Mirror Force, for example, and then you fan your opponent's graveyard to check to see if your OTK is going to go through, and then you see that they've got 2 Mirror Force, then you're like, oh good, that means that they're not going to really stop me. They might have Deep Prison, but to be honest, I mean, if you know they're not running Deep Prison, then you can go straight ahead, or you've got, like, you can put a read on your opponent that they're not going to have a Deep Prison, then that's good, that's great. With Wiretap, you're putting the cards back into the deck. There is a possibility that they're going to redraw these trap cards again, which is not good, because a lot of the time you don't want to redraw Warning again, because then you have to find another way to kill it, to stop it, because Warning isn't a win condition in itself. It's like you negate the Mirror Force, put it back in. They've got a Mirror Force left, and they've got a few face downs later on in the game, and then one of those could be Mirror Force. So you've negated it, put it back in the deck, and then you've kind of jeopardized your possibility of an OTK going through anyway. With Seven Tools, you are literally paying 1,000 life points to place a card onto the graveyard for you to be able to reference it later and be able to literally kind of play through your opponent's back row a bit better, because you're actually able to fan your opponent's graveyard and see what they have. So Wiretap takes away that free information, which you don't have to pay for. You just have to check your opponent's graveyard, but in return you don't have to pay life points. When in a Soul Charge format is going to be a big deal, which is why some people are opting to cut out Solemn Warning, and that's a card that you really need to negate, because if you take away Solemn Warning, which is now, it's going to be taken away by some people because they want to be able to resolve Soul Charge properly, then you don't need Seven Tools the Bandit. You'd much rather just run Trap Stun, because it's the only counter trap worth negating. Anyway, you guys, comment down below your opinions of both cards, which one you think is better, taking into consideration the upcoming format, and I will see you guys in a few days. So thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, the Thetcglover is out.